Welcome back to another Genshin Impact video with me, and in this Klee build, we'll talk about how to make your Klee effective as a main DPS. I will only focus on DPS Klee because we're here to make big boom boom.
That's a lot of damage!
When it comes to building DPS Klee, there are two stats that you need to prioritize. To maximize her damage, you want to focus on critical rate and critical damage. Once you get the critical rate to at least or more than 50%, you can then focus on giving her more critical damage, followed by pyro damage or attack. Critical rate is great for her since it not only increases the damage she can potentially deal, it also helps trigger sparkling burst when your charge attack deals critical damage. This will in turn give every party member 2 elemental energy, and that means your support characters' elemental burst will almost always be available, and that increases the efficiency of the whole party. You can either get this critical rate from her weapon or via artifact set bonus. So let's talk about her weapons. The strongest critical rate catalyst out there currently is the 5-star Lost Prayer to the Sacred Winds from Gacha. A more obtainable alternative is the Solar Pearl from Battle Pass upon reaching level 30. Both of these catalysts gives crit rate as their base. For free-to-play players, you can consider crafting the 4-star Mapper Mare from the Blacksmith. It gives Elemental Mastery, so that means she can deal more damage with her Elemental Skill and Elemental Burst. Plus, a crafted weapon means easier refinement. Other weapon that Klee can use includes the Witheth, I don't really know how to pronounce this, that gives critical damage, Eye of Perception that gives attack, or if you're starting out really early, the 3-star Catalyst Magic Guide will also boost her Elemental Mastery. As I mentioned earlier, Elemental Mastery is good for her since her normal attacks are all Pyro based. Plus, it also helps boost the damage of Jumpty Dumpty and Sparks and Splash. Let's move on to her artifacts. There are several sets you can use on Klee, and I will rank it by how easy they are to obtain. The first set you can consider is Wanderer's Troop full set, and this will increase her charge attack damage by 35%. Pairing this with the 50% from her talent, Pounding Surprise, that's a total of 85%. Very big boom. Next, her endgame set that I personally prefer is the Crimson Witch of Flames full set. Even though the 2-piece is strong, since they give 50% to pyro damage, the 4-piece set makes this the perfect set by increasing burning and overload damage by 40%. Melt and vaporize damage are also increased to 15%. On top of that, using Elemental Skill increases the 2-piece bonus by 50% for 10 seconds for a maximum of 3 stacks. That's a lot of damage. So while you're farming for the Crimson Witch set, you will also get another set that drops from the same area, which is the Lava Walker Salvation set. The 2-piece bonus from this set is not really relevant since it gives pyro resistance and we don't need that. But the 4-piece set is quite strong, so it gives a bonus of 35% damage against enemies affected by pyro. The first set, Wanderer's Troop, is easier to obtain since they drop from world bosses, whereas the Crimson Witch and the Lava Walker set, you need to farm those at the Hidden Palace of Zao formula, and that will cost you 20 resin per run for a chance of getting it. So if you're not Adventure rank 40 or above, don't bother wasting your resin on it, so just use the Wanderer's Troop on her for now. Or you can try mixing Gladiator set with critical rate set from Berserker, because that's what I'm using right now since I'm still trying to farm for my Crimson Witch set. The key point here to remember is to try to aim for critical rate in the substats or even the main stat, or her Circle of Logos slot, which is the helmet or the helm. As for the rest, remember it goes in order of critical rate, critical damage, pyro damage, then attack percent. I know this is easier said than done since artifact RNG is really bad, but hey, it's always good to have a clear goal of what to aim for, right? As mentioned in the previous video, try to practice cancelling her normal attack animation by only using the first attack. You can do this by holding down your movement button, which is, depending on which direction you're facing, WASD, and then tapping your left click button at the right time. It's the same concept on mobile phone, just hold down the movement and then try to tap the normal attack button. Finally, for her talent, you should focus on leveling up Kaboom first, since normal attack and occasionally charge attacks are the bread and butter of DPS uptime. After Kaboom, level up Sparks and Splash, and finally Jumpty Dumpty is your last priority. Since Klee is the main DPS of your party, you should consider building a team around her. For my team, Venti is pretty indispensable since he brings so much crowd control, and the alternative you can use if you don't have Venti is Sucrose, which you might have gotten from pulling from Klee since they're from the same banner. She brings pretty decent crowd control as well. The key point here is when running Klee in your play is to have everyone support her to make her the best. You can consider going for Elemental Resonance with 2 Pyro characters to trigger Fervent Flames that will increase hers and the party's attack by 25%. For free-to-play players, if you really didn't do your Spiral Abyss and get the free Xiangling, you can just throw in an Ember. She doesn't have to be leveled, as long as she's there, the Resonance will work. Another composition you can try is using 2 Electro characters to trigger High Voltage that helps with energy. To summarize, if you want to deal a lot of damage with Klee, give her lots of crit rate and lots of crit damage. The best set for her is Crimson Witch set, the 4-piece set, and try to get crit rate in her substats in her Circlet of Logos slot, and learn to cancel her normal attack and level up Kaboom first. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, do subscribe for more Genshin Impact content. For the small boom support Klee build, you can check out our extensive guide on our website in the link in the description below. Also, if you're wondering why I don't want to talk about support Klee here, you can check out my previous video where I talk about her pros and cons. See you in the next one.